Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called No Overtime. Fresh out of university, I landed a job as an engineer in a vehicle testing lab. My playground was a vehicle dynamometer, a fancy setup where a robot operates the pedals to simulate driving. Think mechanical legs revving and braking a car on repeat to simulate mileage and wear on components. Now, there's an important safety protocol. Every 24 hours of robotic driving, I had to stop the system and run a checklist. Takes about 20 minutes. If I didn't do it, the system would time out and shut everything down anyway. There was a long-standing, mutually beneficial 3-hour minimum overtime rule. If you came in on a weekend, you logged at least 3 hours of overtime, no matter how long the task actually took. I drive in, do my 20-minute checklist, log 3 hours. The lab gets 48 continuous hours of data collection. Everyone's happy. Then came the new manager. She hated this policy. Thought I was robbing the company by getting paid for doing nothing. After a month or two of lobbying, she convinced higher-ups to revoke the 3-hour minimum. Now I'd only be paid for the actual time on site. She then had the gall to look genuinely surprised and disappointed when I declined to drive 30 minutes each way on weekends, just to be paid 20 minutes at time and a half Saturday or double time Sunday. On Friday evenings I let the robot run. Then I'd show up Monday morning to our lovely timed out system, reset it and carry on. Customers started asking, why are we losing 2 full days of testing every weekend? I had an answer ready. You'll want to speak to my manager. She changed the weekend coverage policy. She never did reinstate the rule, and I never worked weekends again. Eventually I left, but not before making sure every frustrated client knew exactly who to direct their concerns to. The lab's value add per day was around £1,000. So every weekend of idle time cost him around £2,000, all to save £20 in overtime. Corporate logic strikes again. The next story is called Personal Phones. A few years back I did a short stint as a mail carrier. Sundays were for Amazon package delivery, and carriers were rotated in, roughly one tenured employee to every 3 contract/new hires. We were the sorting hub for a few branches, so Sundays could get chaotic. This particular Sunday was the Labor Day weekend, so 0 tenured staff showed up. All 4 of us were new or contract. The postmaster was off subbing out of state. The sub-postmaster was off too, so we got the sub for the sub, a lower supervisor who had just returned from a 2-month suspension for threatening to hurt someone in writing. Great start. Then things got better. Our scanners weren't working. No GPS, no dynamically generated routes. We were handed printed lists of addresses. No maps, no directions. When we raised the issue, the stand-in supervisor told us to just use your phones. Excuse me? We are being told to use personal data, GPS, battery life and hardware for a federal job. For free. We pushed back. Hard. Called our union reps, who said if we walked out, we wouldn't get paid. But if we stayed and couldn't finish, we'd be paid for the full shift, plus overtime. 3 of the 4 of us walked out. Can't blame them. I stayed. Couldn't afford to lose the day's pay. But I made it very clear that I don't feel safe being unreachable. Once my phone dies, I'm coming back and heading home. Supervisor brushed it off. So I took my stack of packages and hit the road. Fast forward to 3 PM. Phone hits 1%. I message her. Heading back now. Phone's dead. Suddenly, she cares. Frantic calls and texts that I can't answer. Wait, I figured out the scanner GPS. Another carrier is coming to help you. I ignored it and returned to the hub. She tried to write me up for insubordination. I refused to sign it. Instead, I submitted an undeliverable report, in detail, and documented every instruction she gave. She refused to sign that too. So I grabbed her pen, wrote in big, satisfying block letters. Manager refused to sign acknowledgement. Then, still standing there, I called my union rep again. Let them know I'd be filing a grievance the next day. As I was unloading my truck,
I watched other carriers return, all doing the exact same thing. Apparently, they'd heard me lay out my plan that morning and decided to follow my lead. The sub-postmaster and even the district postmaster had to come in to finish the routes. I quit not long after. Heard through the grapevine that the stand-in supervisor was fired by year's end. The third story is called No Exceptions. Last week we got a very bold, very underlined, very all-caps email. All guests must sign in and wait for security clearance before entering. No exceptions. I work front desk. Now, usually, executives just stroll in like they own the place. Because, well, some of them do. But that email didn't say, except executives. It said, no exceptions. So the next morning, in walks our CEO, early for our board meeting. Big smile, nod of recognition, heading straight for the elevators. I politely intercept, clipboard in hand. Good morning, sir. I need you to sign in and wait while I call it in. He pauses, looks confused, maybe a little amused. But he shrugs, signs the clipboard and takes a seat. I call security. They take their sweet time. 10 full minutes. Eventually he's cleared. Heads up, no fuss. The next morning a new email arrives. Use discretion for executive level visitors. The last story is called Too Casual. I work in IT support. A big part of my job is handling tickets from coworkers and other departments. My manager is usually pretty chill. Until one day, out of the blue, she decides my emails are too casual. Her new decree? No personal touches. Just get straight to the point. No hellos, no sign-offs. The next morning she's CC'd on some of my responses to HR and finance. Reset password. Link attached. Invoice attached. No further action required. No greetings. No punctuation in the closing line. No sign-offs. Just cold, efficient data. Fast forward about a week and she pulls me aside. Hey, your emails are sounding a bit cold and abrupt. Maybe add a greeting? I smiled. Oh, I thought you didn't want any personal touches. She didn't say much after that. Now I'm back to writing like a human again. I guess she learned there's a difference between professional and robotic. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.